All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the YTMCU podcast. Today, I am doing a double episode, so I got two guests. If you all would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Jack Mac.
Dalton, Schmalton, Sonny, whatever other name you want to
Sloozer.
go by.
Loser. Whatever you may have it. So today, I have these fellas on to do a double feature because the two of them have pretty much been here the entire same amount of time. So we have a lot of good stories together. So, guys, tell us a little bit about what you've done and what you do.
As far as YTMCU?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the YTMCU podcast.
Well, yeah, okay.
I had to make the same clarification with Mom the other day, so.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I was, let's see, I've been Harold Meacham, Bushman, Hannibal Kane. I've also written a scene or two.
Mm-hmm.
I've directed scenes.
He wrote the prolific scene from Moon Knight 2. You all know the one.
Yeah, the one that involved the Ramsey Bolton scene, as I like to call it.
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy scene.
Thank you for once again reminding the world of my jokes.
Lol.
Yeah, whatever. But no, I've done a good bit of stuff here. Done, and now I am done as I am retired. Just sort of giving my advice when it is needed.
Jack Mac, what about you, man?
My resume is not as prolific. I have been Doctor Strange for Lord knows how long at this point. I was Kingpin once, maybe twice. It's soon, I don't know. I've been cinematographer for a bunch of movies. The first one was Sin Eater. A lot of people seem to like how I do it, so that is what I've been. I am physically retiring. Well, not retiring. That's not the correct word. I'm not making as
More
many...
like laying back.
That's the better word. I'm not going to make as many physical appearances, but I may or may not lend my voice to things. Certain things from outer space. I may not be the cinematographer for film still. No, that's definite. But yeah, I'm taking more of a relaxed position.
Yeah, which I think we all are. It's probably better for us now.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule is better. It's easier.
It's not for lack of wanting to do it per se. Mostly,
Right.
it's more of we're just so busy as adults now.
Yeah,
Jack Mac and I are both starting careers, and Alex is working, and it's life gets busy when you after 21.
Yep. For sure.
Anyway, so now that we've kind of given a basic intro, I guess in every question we'll just start with Dalton and then do you. So I think that'll make it easier for a pattern.
Cool.
So tell us a little bit about each character you've played, like what you think about him.
Each character?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
We'll start with Hannibal because he's probably the least involved.
Hannibal. I liked Hannibal. I liked what I wanted to do with Hannibal. I couldn't. I'm not really sure how to say it. It's just the vision that I had for Hannibal isn't what came to the screen, and that's probably mostly my fault. But it happens. Hannibal is a very good character. I honestly see him as kind of the other characters that are like him overshadow him
For sure.
in a way.
For sure. Like Constantine, for example.
Yeah, he doesn't get as much love as he really deserves, honestly.
100%. I mean, you saw the Blade movies. He was weird.
He just
really
kind of. I don't know. He's a lot like Blade, which makes it hard because Blade's a more lovable character. I think
more interesting too.
More interesting.
I think if we could have approached Hannibal from more of a solo outing perspective, which I wish we would have done that.
Yeah.
I wish we would have been able to make a whole movie about him, which we totally could have. It would have been a fun detective murder mystery. I think that would have definitely lended a little bit of ability for you to shine through.
Yeah. And also, I just didn't know the character well enough.
Yeah.
While I was acting as him. So yeah, then I'd say Bushman. Bushman was a lot of fun.
I love Bushman.
getting to play that very insane character, which is one of like my favorite type of characters to like see in a movie, is just completely bonkers and just out to unleash hell upon anyone and everyone. One of my favorite characters to see, and so much fun to play because you can just do whatever, and it fits in with the character so well. And the cannibalistic aspect of him, and just the tension between Bushman and Moon Knight, really, I think Alex and I really portrayed that very well.
For sure, man. The fight between us at the end of Moon Knight 3 was crazy. You could feel it.
We did a really good job with that. I enjoyed playing him very much. Harold Meacham.
Oh yeah, your most prolific role, I'd say.
Out of like all the roles I've played, like even in high school theater, definitely my favorite character I've ever played, by far. Just because it is so... It's just so fun to play somebody that is just so, like, doesn't give a shit and can just say and do basically whatever he wants because he has the money to, and is in charge of this multi-million-dollar company where he can get by with stuff. And it's a lot of fun, and the chemistry between, again, going back to chemistry, between myself and the two actors who have played Danny Rand, I think it was very prolific to not just my character, but also the Danny Rand character. So yeah, all very fun characters to play. I think they were very well cast to me.
For sure.
So yeah.
I don't think I could have... After having seen them all played by you, I don't think I could have gotten anyone else to play each of them.
Right.
All right, Jack, Mike, tell us a little bit about your characters, man.
Well, I mean, the only big one that I got is Doctor Strange.
Don't forget about James Rosenthal, man.
I don't know why I always end up. Well, we'll go back to him first because I was Doctor Strange first, but Rosenthal was probably my first big one.
Yeah.
You played that character so well.
Yeah,
Rosenthal.
Which is crazy because we did a complete dramatic rewrite. Everyone knows the story, but I mean that I was completely different until I hammed up my death scene, and that's when Alex was like, "Actually, hold on, we need to kind of change this a little bit. I think you have the range for it." That one was fun because I never really got to show how dramatic I can act. I've never really gotten to have that more, like, what's the word for it? The more vulnerable side of acting, I guess. I never really got to experience that before, and I felt like Rosenthal was my outlet for that, which was really fun. I mean, that was when Alex and I became really close friends, too, was the filming of all that. So I'm very thankful for that. But everyone knows Doctor Strange the most. I've been him, gosh, how many times at this point?
You've played him in... Dragon and Tiger 2 was the first.
Yeah.
He was in Sin Eater for a small scene. Moon Knight 3. Midnight Suns, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And Dragon and Tiger 3.
Yeah, so
5 appearances.
5 apperances, yeah.
If I'm forgetting any, please let me know in the comments.
Definitely more. I do think we're going to keep him around. Like I said, I will be in smaller appearances, but I do want to keep him around for sure.
He will be returning in Midnight Mission every so often to kind of give a lowdown of what's going on.
I've always loved Doctor Strange. It was kind of cringe, but I was an MCU fan before I was a comic book fan. So when I saw the movie for the first time, I was like, man, that's cool. And then I made the joke to Alex that I'd love to play him, and then I was just like, and then it just kind of happened that way. But I love being, I guess it's kind of the same way that I view, I guess in this case the Dalton views Meacham, because it's kind of similar. Like they're both kind of cocky a-holes, as I'd like to say.
But they do have that heart to them.
But they have that heart, yeah. And that's another part of acting I really got to let shine, because I was always cast as the dork, which if you know me in real life, it kind of makes sense. But it was nice to play a character that's a little full of himself, knows his abilities well.
And you did it well, man. You really did. Both of you played your characters excellently.
Appreciate it.
I will say my underdog role, in my opinion, in terms of how much I loved it, was Kingpin.
I wish that could happen again, but
I genuinely didn't get to do enough with Kingpin. I kind of wish I would get to do more. But I mean, hey, sometimes that's just how life goes. But being a villain is something I always wanted to play, and I kept asking Alex. I'm like, give me one, just give me one. And then I got, what was it, Greg Gargoyle? Is that
Yeah,
his name?
Incinerator, yeah.
And that was just goofy. I was like an old 50s comic book villain. It felt like
Small role, but it showed potential.
It was fun.
Playing a villain is so much fun. My first actual role in theater was as a villain, and it was so much fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was Sound of Music. I played a Nazi admiral.
Hold on, my people are ashamed.
Big surprise. But no, it was fun because you just got to be this complete a-hole, just
Evil motherfucker.
evil
Yeah.
dickbag.
Yeah.
And you know, getting to play that on stage is different than real life because you know you don't want to be a dickbag in real life unless you're like, you know, you suck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, unless you're trying to make
Yeah.
your life miserable.
but getting to do that and nothing come out of it
Oh, for sure.
is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
And I love Kingpin. Like I'm a newer into that sphere because when we did Daredevil, I don't know nearly as much about him. He's always been on the like back end for me in terms of characters I enjoy, but I did love the Netflix Daredevil. May it rest in peace.
We all did.
Yeah, I loved that show, and Vincent D'Onofrio was always a really cool character to me, like actor as Kingpin for me. So I wanted to channel that well. Granted, I might have looked like the Hawkeye version with that stupid hat, but whatever. No, I loved Kingpin also. Is there anything else? I don't even really think that. I think that was it, right?
Rosenthal, Strange, him. That's like your big three. You both have
Yeah.
a big three.
Yeah.
Played yourself and
Yeah, you did. You played you in Deadpool.
It is true. That was just kind of me, honestly, being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird movie. I hope we never do that again.
Well, there's 2 Deadpool movies on the chopping block right now.
Is Jack Mack gonna be back in them?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Actually, maybe I do want him to come back.
If it's done better, I think.
We threw that in at the last.
Yeah.
That was a thrown together.
That whole movie was just kind of thrown together. It wasn't planned out very well. It was just like, let's do this. Let's do this.
All
We
because
haven't
we
been-
had a homie.
See, the next 2 Deadpool movies are actually going to be full-length written stories.
Because we had a homie that's like, I want to be Deadpool, and then we were like, sure, I guess.
Hey, Ben's going to be Deadpool now.
That fits.
That's my
fits.
son. I'm proud of him.
So
Shout out to Ben.
We literally have the trilogy planned out, and it's one long story that's just filled with convoluted fourth wall chicanery, and it's going to be fantastic.
I like it. I love that word, chicanery.
It's not even correct usage, and it's awesome.
I know it's a good substitute for tomfoolery or trolling.
Also a great word.
Yeah, facts.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
So, we've kind of talked about the characters that you've played in the YTMCU, and you, of course, Dalton, brought up your theater experience. Let's talk about your experience outside of the YTMCU.
Oh
acting.
dear. Well, it's all. I think it's all from high school theater.
Middle school, homie. You were in middle school.
Middle school theater too. Well, school theater. I think that's the only real acting experience I have. I started off 6th grade. We did The Wizard of Oz. I played a Munchkin and Ozian. Fun fact, it was actually just because this girl that I liked was in the play. Was the sole reason why I joined. And then I ended up loving theater.
The things that we do.
So she ended up quitting actually after like a week and playing softball.
Wow.
But, you know. So, started off Oz. That was 6th grade. 7th grade, we were supposed to do a play called Way Out West in a Dress. It's like where a bunch of like guys from New York go out west in the 1800s, and they had to like dress up in dresses or something. Something real dumb. We had a ton of guys in theater at the time, so it just kind of made sense.
Mm-hmm.
8th grade, I did tech crew because I wasn't like confident in my ability on stage at the time. So I did tech crew for Aladdin, tech crew for Little Mermaid. Then sophomore year, I joined regular choir, and I was kind of forced into doing Sound of Music. And originally, I was just a okay. All right, whatever. Originally, I was just a regular person that like showed up to the ball or whatever. But they needed a character for Admiral von Schreiber, and no one else wanted it, so I took it.
The Nazi character, by the way.
Yeah. So then Sound of Music goes by. We get into junior year, and once again, I didn't really want to part, but we did Grease.
Oh, Grease.
Oh,
Grease.
And
God.
I played Sonny Lottieri, but the guy who was originally cast as Sonny Lottieri got upset because he didn't get another role and ended up quitting. So it was offered to another guy who turned it down, and then it was offered to me. And it turned out to be arguably the best decision that could have been made. Because the chemistry that the five of us had as T-Birds, I don't think could have ever been matched.
I mean, you guys are still friends to this day. So
Whoa.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
So, you know, the chemistry there, I keep on saying chemistry, but it's just...
It's a word that fits, I guess.
It fits so well in theater, because if you don't have chemistry with your fellow actors, then you can't do anything.
Facts.
So then then the second part of junior year we did Annie, and I played Drake the Butler, which was probably my best role in theater, I think. I think I did a really good job with him. But other than that, I haven't really had any other acting experience.
Jack Mack?
Tell Dalton's story starting from The Little Mermaid. That's where I was at. Because I never really cared about acting at all. But I loved singing. I've been singing since I was a little kid, and I joined choir because why not? And the choir teacher forced the choir students into the musical, basically. She gave us a way out, but it didn't really. Basically, she forced you in it. So she might as well have just said, yeah, you have to be in it.
Just saying, we love our choir teacher.
I mean, yeah.
She's amazing, but she forced us.
Sweetest one of the sweetest women I know, but she basically forced people in it. But anyway, so yeah, I was a fish in Little Mermaid. I was a fish. The kids called me Nemo, so they loved me to death.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah. Sophomore year, yeah, that was fun. Sophomore year, I was, oh gosh, who was I that year? I was just a background character, I think.
Your character
I was a
name.
butler. I remember, apparently, my choir teacher begged me to audition that year, because she wanted me to be Rolf, I think is the kid's name.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I auditioned for that also.
Yeah. Our choir teacher wanted me to audition for that, and I told her I would just to get her to stop asking. And one day, my girlfriend at the time went to audition, and she knew I was dating her, and she was like, "Where's Jacob at?" And she was like, "Oh, he went home. He's not auditioning." And she got mad at me that year. Mad, quote unquote. But no, she told me if I had auditioned, I would have been forced as Rolf, which makes me a little sad because I would have had a romantic duet with one of the hottest girls at school at the time. But whatever.
Would have been the better choice.
Yeah, whatever. So I was just a butler, and I was a Nazi soldier. That was fun.
Damn, all my friends are Nazis. This is kind of strange.
Or how do you think I feel? I mean, I'm not Jewish, but anyway, moving on.
It wasn't by choice. It was historical representation of a period.
And I'll never forget. We had to
yeah.
go out to the front doors to say goodbye to kids that came from other schools.
Yeah.
And all the kids in our school went, they got armpits, and took pictures of us.
The assistant principal came up to me because I've always been really good friends with the assistant principal at Lincoln, and she came up to me and was like, "So we need you guys to not wear those armbands when you're outside of the theater."
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then junior year, I finally auditioned because she begged me again. And I make it sound like that I was like this golden goose or whatever. I'm not trying to be full of myself. She really wanted me to. And then I got Duty, I think was his name, in Greece.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. That morning, one of our friends, I think it was Jacob, was who came to me about it. I think came up to me. He was like, "Dude, your duty. And I was like, cool, I don't know who that is. And he's like, dude, you're one of the leads. And I went, excuse me? Because I auditioned for a side character that, I auditioned for the dude in the movie that sings one song and then bows out and never shows up again. That's what I auditioned for.
You school dropout.
Yeah, that was it. Thank
The
you.
Angel.
Yeah, thank you. I auditioned for that. Didn't get it, and I was forced to wear a leather jacket for 5 or 6 months. And
We were brainwashed.
yeah, we were
For the rest of the time we were in high school, we were known as the T-Birds.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. Our friend
high
group.
school to this day.
No, not to this
Not
day.
anymore.
The
I-
jokes are everywhere.
Our friend group kind of became static at that point. We kind of formed a group at that point, but that was fun. In Annie, I was President Roosevelt. That was actually fun, except when I think it was you that almost threw me off the wheelchair
It might have been. I don't
off
remember.
stage, Dalton.
I don't remember that was my best role, but that was such a bad time in my life.
Yeah,
I do not.
I don't
any of it.
remember who it was, but someone, for some reason, our choir teacher had the idea of, oh, let's put him in a time-accurate wheelchair instead of a one we have downstairs. And I couldn't control it, so someone else had to wheel me around. And they let go of me, and I almost fell off. And I couldn't stop myself because my choir teacher's like, no. For accuracy, you couldn't feel your legs. You cannot get up and stop yourself from falling. So if someone drops you, you suffer. So that was fun. I was also the radio host, Bert Healy.
Hey,
No, we're not bringing that up. That was a funny joke, though.
we can't sing that.
I-
that version of this.
It's so fun.
I also had to take my glasses off because she's like, you gotta look different, I guess. So I did. I couldn't see anybody. So for all I knew, we had like 3 people. Watching instead of like, I don't know, 400 or whatever. I don't remember how many people sat in that auditorium.
Going back to
What?
sorry, no mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Going back to Greece, I will never forget the first performance night
Yeah.
when you sang those magic changes. and
Oh,
just
yeah.
The place
Well,
erupted.
I'll never forget it too, because when I did it so in our school we did during the day. This was actually the fun part. We got taken out of class and we would do performances for other schools during the day, and every single school performance, no one clapped for me at all. Like I barely ever got claps. So I was down the entire time. I thought I sucked. I thought no one liked me at all. But the first open public performance, people screamed when I finished. So I felt really good about myself that night.
That night is it's a fever dream.
It
honestly.
was, yeah.
That's
I still
Friday
remember
night.
it.
That was a really fun moment. I'll never forget that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was a fun memory. But yeah, Annie was fun. I didn't like it nearly as much as Grease. Everyone made fun of Dalton for it for a while because we're like, bro, there's no way. This was not nearly as fun. We had to work with middle schoolers. That sucks.
I enjoyed it. Honestly.
I mean, I had fun, but I would never have put it in the same bracket. But I understand. And then senior year was dumb. We don't even need to talk about that. That was bad. I got to sing "Dust in the Wind." That was fun.
Oh yeah, the Cougar Cabaret.
It's really good. Your version of
Yeah.
Dust in the Wind was really good.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
even
like
though Jonathan made fun of me. For
One
that.
of the
See, that was done by the time that we were like actually friends.
Yeah.
So I got to be like, hey, those are my dudes up there,
Yeah, that was your
That's-
freshman year, so you actually got to. Be
and not me going, hey, who the hell are these people?
Yeah, right.
That's one of the highlights of that show was your Dust in the Wind.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
No
for sure.
one actually said that. To
I think
me,
you did
so
a great
appreciate
job,
that. Yeah. And then I actually took the plunge as a moron, and I actually went to school for a theater major. I don't really talk about that, but I initially went to college to be a theater major. I did do performances as a theater major. Not many, because I dropped out of the major pretty fast, because I had some professors that were a little bit groomy, we'll say. I don't want to get into massive specifics, but basically I was told things by professors that were a little bit weird, and so I dropped the major as a whole. So I did do a couple performances in college, which were fun. I admit I had fun, but I don't know. I just didn't like the environment of the theater student life. And it sucks because all the friends I made there immediately forgot about me after I quit. They stopped actually talking to me altogether. I would reach out and they would ignore me from then on out. So that was fun. But here I am. We're doing stuff I enjoy, so I can't really be upset.
Yeah, you're definitely better with the homies than with those dudes.
Yeah, yeah. College was weird. That was a weird time.
Same.
Those theater
I
kids.
think all three of us, our college experiences were not too hot.
Well, no, that's not entirely true. It was freshman year that stunk. Every year after that, I loved because I made a lot of great friends. I was, for people who don't know, I was in the drum line at WVU, which is a big deal if you're not in the state. It's a huge deal. A lot of people recognize you for it. That was probably the most fun I had in college. I made a lot of great friends there. In fact, one of my best friends from college, to this day, I met her there. I made a lot of great friends there. My best friend, one of my greatest friends I made was from college, so I can't complain too much about the. I mean, obviously you guys hated it, especially you, Schmalm. I know how much you hated it.
I was there for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
No real big.
We have a group of like 5 college dropouts and no 4.
4
4.
and Jonathan.
Oh yeah,
Dakota.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of us here, but
But then the newer people are trying to.
they're shooting beyond.
Brady's
us.
trying to go to college. Owen wants to go to college, and they know what they're like wanting to do.
Yeah.
So that already puts them in front of me.
Which I mean, hey, you don't have to go to college.
No.
I don't have to go to college for what I'm trying to do. So.
Oh,
Well, yeah, you can just walk up to anyone and beat the crap out of them.
that's true.
You don't need a degree for that.
Yeah. Well, I will say that when I was in college, training with the team did help me. So
Yeah.
I will say that's the fun part.
Yeah, but no, shout out to Bree. She would never watch these, but shout out to her. She's one of my best friends.
Definitely never.
Love her to death. She would never watch this, but
Yo, shout out to anybody from the Glenville crew. Miss y'all. Hope you're doing good.
Shout out to anyone from Fairmont State. I don't know anyone from Fairmont State, so you know.
The threes.
you're shouting out the high schoolers we know from there.
Pretty
That's
much.
about
Yeah, essentially. Not me though. There was like 2 from Lincoln.
Stinking Lincoln.
So anyway, now that we just talked about you guys' theater experience, what's the kind of change that happens when you go from acting on stage to acting in front of a camera?
There you go.
Theater to film. Me and Mom talked about this,
Great questions.
but I want to know what you guys think because you were more in depth about it than she is.
I think you and I can answer this together, basically.
Mhm.
It is a huge change.
Oh, insanely.
Because instead of acting to an audience where you would get a reaction, you're not getting a reaction unless it's from like the guys that you're filming with are like, hey, that was really good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the same thing I said.
It's not nearly as, you don't feel as rewarded right off the bat until you see the finished
I
product.
feel like it's highly dependent on your self-confidence.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about theater acting too is it's very exaggerated. You know,
Yes.
you're going above and beyond to get a reaction. You know, when you sing, you open your mouth wider, you close the gap in between like
Lots
your
of
lips.
physical
Yeah,
movement.
there's a lot. You use your hands, you use your entire body. Whereas with a camera in front of you, it's much more personal. It's much
More realistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very, like I said, it's personal. It's like I'm talking to you. I'm not
It's
doing
crazy.
a soliloquy in front of 40 people.
So it's,
trying to
it's
get a
crazy
reaction.
because like we're doing comic book movies that are still the source material makes no sense,
Yeah.
but yet somehow we are more human and realistic than your theater performances are. which-
Yeah.
One of them was based off a semi real life story.
Yeah, I mean it's an interpersonal relationship on camera.
They always teach you when you're in theater to talk to the audience. Like if you're having a conversation with somebody, make sure that your body is like turned towards the audience while you're having this conversation. In film, you don't have to do that because you can still hear and still be able to tell who's talking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a very different. You have to basically change your whole DNA, kind of, with
Yeah.
acting. So it's difficult.
Yeah, with camera acting, I mean it's like no one's even there. Like literally, no one's literally there, but also it's you're living their life in a different way. Cuz like with stage acting, like you said, you're talking to the audience, you know. You're putting on a mask. But I feel like when you're acting behind a camera or
for like voice actors behind a mic or something like that. It's much more of a conversation. You know, I'm talking to Alex or I'm talking to Brady or whatever. You know, it's a lot different of a feel.
So, kind of describe the thought process of how you guys adapted.
You first. You did it longer than me.
I just kind of, mostly I just told myself I need to do it this way or else it's going to suck. You have to sit yourself down, look yourself in the mirror and say, you can't do this the way that you were trained. You have to do it differently.
It's a completely different medium, yeah.
And you have to take that, you have to flick that light bulb in your brain to say, hey, you know, come on, get your shit together. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know if it was the same for you, Jack Mac, but that's how it was for me.
I did it more of how would I react,
yeah,
and how would that character react, and I try to combine the two. It sounds a little silly, but like, I would look at a situation and try to put myself into their shoes,
yeah,
and see how someone realistically would react. Whereas with theater, it's not really as much that it's not you. You are not yourself. You are straight up just another character talking to the audience, reacting to things. But I feel like with behind the camera, it's much more. You have to put yourself a lot harder into the performance. Like with Rosenthal, I mean, I cried for that scene. Like I don't know how. It's been a while since I watched the movie. I don't know how easy it was to tell. I literally did cry for that scene. That was not fake. I cried for that. I felt those feelings. It wasn't me talking like I did. I felt them. And I feel like that's a completely different mechanic than theater acting.
You put yourself into the character, whereas with theater, the character puts itself into you.
Yeah,
basically.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Polar opposite.
Mm-hmm. I much prefer camera acting, though. I had a lot more fun with that.
Yeah.
I don't like being over-exaggerated. I don't like over-exaggerating, which is ironic because I over-exaggerate a lot in real life. Yeah. But I don't like putting on more of a performance than is necessary, so I've preferred this way more. Yeah.
Do you think the other people that came from theater have succeeded in or camera acting?
Like in our group?
So, yeah, let's take like Jonathan, Wayne, Jesse, Mom. That's pretty much it.
I think some.
Your mom definitely has.
Oh, for sure.
But it's been a long time since your mom has done theater.
Yeah, like 30 years.
I mean, she did it. Yeah, she did it with my parents in high school.
I'd say the one that has done it the least is probably Jonathan.
Okay. Tell me why.
But he's more, as a person, when Jonathan is like projecting himself in front of people, like even if it's on camera, he's very over exaggerated no matter what. I think that training that he had in theater, because his very first character he ever played was Jafar in Aladdin, who is this, big over the top villain character who just is loud and obnoxious and just completely throwing himself at the audience, kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West is the same way. So I think that kind of embedded itself in his brain, and he just hasn't really been able to get rid of that completely. You're not saying that he does bad. He does a good job. Crossbones, he did amazing. What was it? Black Spectre?
Yeah.
Black Spectre, he did
too.
a really good job.
Century.
The Truth.
Oh yeah, The Truth was cool.
They've just all been very
Over the
above
top.
and beyond.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, Schmalton. I radically have to disagree with you.
Really?
I actually think he was one of the better ones. I think his translation of it was almost. I think probably one of the better ones. I think the people who've done it the worst is She Who Shall Not Be Named, because she was a horrible actress anyway. I'm sorry, she would never watch this, but she was a terrible actress from the get go.
He's talking about the chick that played Marlene in Moon Knight 3.
Yeah, I think of everyone we have ever had from the theater straight to these movies, she has been the worst.
I don't remember her scenes. So
I disagree with that. I think it's Gabe.
Oh yeah,
He doesn't count.
It does count.
No.
It totally counts.
No, because
That
It counts.
How do I say this without being mean? How do I say this without being mean?
that's his persona no matter what.
He
He
acts
is
the
one-sided.
Listen, I'm talking to you for a second, audience. I'm not talking to these two for a second. I'm talking straight up to you. He literally plays the over-exaggerated characters in everything he does. Okay? It does not translate very well, is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't count. He's always acted the
Gabe that
crazy
you
guy.
see on the camera is the same Gabe that we've seen behind or not on camera.
For better or worse. For better or worse.
Not trying to talk.
No,
talk
I
shit
say
on the
I
guy.
say it with love for Gabe
It's
because I
that's
do
just how
like
he is.
I do like the guy. I say it with love. I just also do it to meme.
Yeah,
I'm doing a little bit of trolling right
it's
now.
just that's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I genuinely do believe that Jesse and Gabe have done it the worst. But she, like I said, she was always a mid actor anyway because she never really did anything on her own in high school anyway. She was
Yeah,
always background.
She was
characters.
she was just extras.
Yeah,
What
she was
about
always extras.
what about Wayne?
I think his is an all right change.
So Wayne, after we graduated, Wayne played Lord Farquaad, and I wouldn't watch that.
Yeah, I also
Shrek.
did. Yeah, me and Timothy
And
did too.
his portrayal of Lord Farquaad wasn't as like over the top as others. He kind of did.
That's what I was gonna say.
He did a really good mix of.
He made him a little more down to earth.
Yeah,
I kind of
and
appreciated
it
that.
worked. Strangely, because
Yeah.
you watch the movie and Lord Farquaad is over the top, but he made it work.
Yeah.
And he kind of brought the same thing to Deadpool
Which
and Davos.
I don't think works as much, especially
Yeah.
Deadpool, because Deadpool, like let's use a really good example. Nolan North's Deadpool, insane, wacky, nuts. You know, we all like the Nolan North Deadpool. He does really well. I love Wayne. Bank, you're my homie. You stole my games though. But anyway,
He will never let that go ever.
You're my homie. Love you. But I don't know. I felt like that with Deadpool just didn't work nearly as much. But I think you did a good job with others. I think our issue with Davos is we didn't give him enough room.
Yeah.
I think that was more the issue. I don't think it was
more
Wayne.
characterization, but
Yeah.
he is one of the more favorited characters.
Yeah.
Of our
Yeah,
roster.
for sure. I think Davos, it was not Wayne's fault. It was we didn't give him enough air to breathe.
For sure. We definitely needed to see more backstory from him.
Yeah.
Just more from him in general.
Probably one of the better Dragon and Tiger villains.
Oh, for sure.
I would
Well,
say.
for sure. 100%.
Granted, I mean,
Who
He
else
doesn't
did he
have
have
much
to?
you have
I was gonna
Takeshi,
say.
Zhang Zhu, and the Hood, and Meacham in the first movie.
And we all know, and we all know how we feel about the Hood that wasn't Alex's Hood. So
Yeah, it's a 50-50. The 150 was weird. The other 50 was me.
the other 50 was you. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, okay. To be fair, though, I will say this: I think every Dragon and Tiger villain is good.
Yeah.
yeah,
But what Davos is probably just the slowest. Well, besides Meacham, I'd say in the first movie.
The more characterized.
Yeah.
which is crazy because he didn't have much.
because
So
the Hood was a full blown character. We knew his backstory. We knew his motivation, and we knew his full power set. And then Takeshi was probably the most fleshed out character of the entire franchise. Zhang Zhu was hinted at for the entire movie, and we heard about him from Shang and from Takeshi. But with Davos, we just knew that he wanted to beat Danny because he took his powers or something, and that's all we knew.
Yeah.
That's all she wrote. You know, we didn't know enough.
Right.
true that.
So, what are some of your favorite characters in the YTMCU other than characters you've played?
Moon Knight, definitely. Danny's portrayal.
Ha.
Brady's portrayal of Iron Fist, Danny Rand, has been very good. Oh God. Doctor Strange, very good portrayal. Oh, shut. Okay, anyway. I retract that statement because Jack Mack is.
Well, it's okay. I've never liked Meacham anyway.
The beefing. It's crazy.
God.
I always said Crossbones was better than Bushman anyway. So
Crossbones was really good.
I don't even think those two are. Those are my top three for sure, but neither of them are my best in my opinion.
Punisher.
I miss him so much.
Oh,
Duncan
Donkey!
does a great, which Duncan is incredible act. Duncan was like born to act.
Donkey,
he
come
was
home.
born to be the Punisher.
Donkey, come home. I want to kiss
He
you.
Just never really
kidding.
got any training in school for theater.
No, he didn't.
He was in a theater class with myself and Jack Mac,
Yep.
and he just went up on stage and he just did it. Like
That's
no
awesome.
one had to really teach him how to. He just did it, which is incredible. And yeah, he did a really good job at Punisher.
Also, just a Chad man in general.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
king.
Oh gosh. Dakota Ramsey does a good job as Spider-Man.
Yeah, he does. We're about to see that. We see
Yeah.
more of that.
He does a really good job. I'm proud of how far he's come.
Yep.
What about you, Jack?
Love you, Brady. Love you. Respect you. You're my kid. You're my son. Your Danny has always been a favorite of mine for sure. I give Dalton crap, but yeah, fuck you. No, I'm kidding. No, I do love Bushman. I make fun of Bushman a lot because I always says he's the Joker if he was like a little weirder. With how you portray him,
The Joker if he ate
you
people.
lick your teeth a little too much, but that's because
Yeah,
Alex
it's
said Alex always said, "Hey man, make yourself actually look like a creeper." So I mean, it works, but
He's definitely like the villain I would want to be around the least.
Which is kind of the point.
Which is weird because he's compared to like demons and serial killers. So like, you
one
know.
that no one mentions, Jonathan as the Truth is always going to be one of my favorites.
He's such a funny character.
I will always love Jonathan as the Truth. What's the line?
I'm a pervert.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm perverted.
I'm perverted. That's
And
the
then
line.
the one clip that wasn't actually in the movie because it was a blooper.
I like touching.
we won't say what it is, but we know what it is.
if you IYKYK people.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
That is such a funny. That's probably
What-
my favorite blooper out of any movie we ever made.
I am proud of Isaiah for trying with Ghost Rider.
Yes,
I-
I would agree.
We have not said a word about that poor Blair kid. I give him the respect he deserves. He's trying his hardest.
His
He was definitely better than the original pick.
so
Oh yeah, definitely.
Isaiah
which
is
original
like
pick? Oh.
Isaiah's maturing into the Ghost Rider that you see on the screen.
Yeah, he's
Throughout-
done really good in
Throughout the
in
whole
new
production
episode
of
of
Midnight Suns,
We sat down with him a
he
lot.
started out terrible.
Love you, kid.
Love him,
Horrible.
but he was terrible. And I told him he was terrible at first.
I think he said it himself.
and
I think
by
he-
the end of it,
He
I
was
was
just
very proud of him.
he was just overacting.
Yeah.
You know.
Yup, for sure.
Which he was nervous. You know, we were all nervous the first time. So,
Why are you saying it like that, bro?
MF Mac.
Mac. That's too good.
Oh God.
You even look like him right now.
Yeah, for those of you who can't see, Alex is a
Which
big-
would be everyone.
which well, yeah, literally everybody. Alex is a big fan of the MF Doom, and I'm wearing the MF Doom mask right now.
Hold on, my phone's
Yeah.
down.
Sorry, Schmalton's making a photo op real fast, but I decided to wear it because mad villainy.
I just got that on vinyl. So happy. Great album.
yeah, trying to figure this out with my glasses. But anyway, I interrupted you, Schmalton. Go ahead.
I forget what I was saying.
Oh,
honestly.
You were talking about Isaiah's him
Oh,
coming to Ghost
his coming into the character
Yes.
was one of the better ones I've seen. He matured a lot throughout the production, and I was very proud of him by the end of it. He did a really good job.
Definitely.
I have absolutely agree.
He did really good in the first episode of Midnight Mission,
Oh yeah,
which hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, we're as of this moment, we're still in production.
Yep.
But no, he did really good with that. The scenes he filmed, I'm very proud of. Trying to think of other ones. Gabe has been around for one of the longest, so I'll put some respect on his name. Slight. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, homie. Respect you. Hope you're doing well. But no, basically, there's just there's a lot of I don't know. There's just a lot of roles that I like. A lot of them. There's some I like more than others.
Yeah, for sure.
Dakota and I have had a lot of fun doing his Spider-Man lines together. He's a lot of fun to hang around when he's not looking at weird anime pictures on his phone.
He's also another one that his acting has matured stupendously over
Dakota? Oh,
Over
for
time.
sure.
Wow, Schmalton, good word usage.
stupendously.
Good word.
Stupendously.
Empirically.
Empirically.
It's empirically better. It's so good that he's getting a movie.
Yeah.
When he first started, if you would have told me back then that he was going to get his own movie, I would have laughed in your face, Alex.
I would have laughed in my
And if
face.
you had told me that I would have been one of the other characters in that movie, I would have laughed.
But he has done a really good job. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah. No,
Sure. We're about to see something special with the Spider-Man film.
Oh yeah. Well, I was in the middle of saying something I already forgot. Anyway, basically the point is, I like everybody in their own ways. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the upcoming people we have. We got some people that we haven't really discussed much about yet.
Owen.
Yeah, we got Owen. Me and Owen tag teaming.
I'm excited to
be
see
fun.
Ben.
Ben's gonna be fun.
Ben's going to be a lot of fun. I think...
Wyatt is Wolverine.
I think Wyatt's gonna be really fun to
Wyatt.
watch. Also,
From what Alex has told me of Wyatt's acting in the new movie that's being created.
I was nervous at first, but after I went to do a shooting with Brady and Brady's father and a couple other people, and Wyatt just slid right into that character like a nice pair of new slippers.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this was your role. This clearly is.
We got some good talent coming up.
Yeah. Ben, Owen, the Blairs still to an extent.
Yeah.
Wyatt, of course. And who knows? Maybe some more people will come around.
yeah. Yep, we got some good people coming down the pipeline.
So we've kind of talked about actors already. Let's talk about the films. Of course, we've been doing this forever. What are your thoughts on just kind of the progression of how things have been going with us?
We've certainly got better over time. Obviously.
That's an understatement.
The first movie I was associated with was
Winter Soldier.
The first Winter Soldier.
Disgusting
Christ.
film. Disgusting film, by the way.
Which is our worst film, by far.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely...
even
yeah.
like when I was there for a couple of the filmings, and just being there, I could tell it was not going to be great at all.
No.
But we've progressed. We've gotten better. We've learned from our mistakes. And I'm really excited with where we are. I wish that we had more space and more production area, if you get what I'm saying. Like, more, we could do more things. I wish.
We can more now than we used to because we have a whole bunch of new stuff that I'm
Right.
willing to experiment with Spider-Man.
We have our constraints that other even like small time amateur films
Yeah.
wouldn't have.
Money.
Yeah, I was trying not to
That's-
say it, but okay.
That's the big thing. Fundage is a hard thing to come by for us.
Which sucks, but we make the best of what we have, and
Yeah, for sure.
we don't have an actual like recording camera, but we get by pretty well with Alex's iPhone
iPhone 14 Pro.
14.
That's
So
yeah. We haven't shot anything on it so far. That has come out. Dragon Tiger 3 was shot on my older phone, which was our last film. But
We shot Midnight Suns on my phone a few times.
yeah, Midnight Suns was on all of our phones, the older ones. But Midnight Mission and Wolverine are both shot on the new phone, and they look stellar. Granted, Midnight Mission will be absolutely deep fried to all hell
even
for the
still,
sake of analog visibility.
your old phone still did it incredibly.
Oh yeah,
well.
for sure.
But we've gotten better. Alex has gotten better as an editor, writer,
Everything.
director, filmer.
All the things I do that end with ER.
We've all gotten better as actors, and just the creative of it all
Yeah.
has definitely.
You just broke my chair.
I didn't break the chair. The
You
chair was.
broke my director's chair.
It's been broken.
It's been broken.
Numb nuts. That was my director's chair.
Well, that landed in the basket.
Oh.
Sorry, we got some chicanery going on here.
Yeah, my director's
We have a
chair is not so good.
Cacophony of callous crap right now. I swear. No,
Anyways, Jack Mac, what do you think about our progress as a film production
I think the
company?
biggest thing is the cinematography. We've come a long way on that because, like, we started with Alex, who, when you started, obviously you were like in 7th grade.
I
You
didn't know
much.
anything about anything.
I've always been fascinated with cinematography. Dakota does some interesting shots. I think he moves a little too much, but sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it's
He's
not.
got the action shaky cam vibe.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of how mine has come around too, because like I've always been fascinated with cinematography, and I felt like mine's evolved throughout the projects as well. I've been willing to try different angles, different shots, but I think that is the crux of a piece. If your cinematography's bad, the rest of it suffers. You can have great writing, but if the shots are stale and bland, you're not going to have great perspective on what the story's trying to tell. So
That definitely is a big proponent of component, I should say.
Yeah.
Definitely a large component of what makes films as a genre as creative as they are and as interesting as they are.
And to continue with that alliteration, there's a cacophony of creatives that you can see that are really good at the genre. I mean, one of my biggest inspirations was always I literally immediately forget the man's name. You know exactly who it is, because I talk about him all the time. He's one of my favorite directors, and he does great stuff.
There's a whole bunch.
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
I love the way he. I know he's probably not the cinematographer.
No, he is the. He's
But
the
the
director.
way he think is great. He's one of my biggest
I need
inspirations.
to watch. I don't. I watch more reviews of them,
Yeah.
just because I just don't go to the theater.
Have you never seen Glorious Bastards?
I have not.
Literally one of the
They're-
greatest war movies of all time. You've never seen it. They're under the floorboards ever.
No.
More Nazi
there
talk,
are
everybody.
so many movies that I have not watched that I need to watch.
Inglorious
I just haven't
Bastards is the greatest, in my opinion, World War II movie ever made. It's an alternate history World War II film, but my
Yeah,
God.
I
is
know
it
the
incredible.
movie. I just haven't watched it.
There's so many.
His movies are so quotable too. Like
Yeah.
that man knows how to write, or whoever writes them. Who all I know it is. Man.
He writes most of the movies and directs them.
Oh, that's
He's a double.
What do they call a Whopper with cheese? Oh, I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King.
I thought you were trying to ask what they call me a writer of a movie. Wait, a screenwriter?
No, I was quoting Pulp Fiction.
I know what you were doing now, but I was like, what is he?
You know what they call a Big Mac in France?
What?
Call it a Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese, huh? What
What?
do they call Big Mac?
I already said Big Mac.
I mean, you know what I mean. No, you said. Never mind.
You're supposed to say Whopper.
Anyways,
Anyway,
No, it's
I probably messed that up anyway.
No,
so
you did. It's because it's quarter pounder.
Whatever.
What they call
Whatever.
it.
Yeah. My mistake.
What they call Big Mac.
Looks
they
like
They don't really change it. They call it Le Big Mac. Le Big Mac.
Well, I guess I'm. I
What do
guess.
they call a Whopper with cheese? Oh, I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King. That's the full line.
Guess I'm not a real fan. Anyway.
I've only watched Pulp Fiction one time, so I can.
I've watched
Yeah.
it like 7.
I don't know every single line and every single follicle of Samuel L. Jackson's facial hair, so I'm not a real fan. Anyway,
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
I really have Quentin Tarantino posters on my desk, and here I
He's
am
right there.
fucking up the quotes.
He's right there.
Not a real fan.
That's not a camera. That's a gun. He's pointing it at me. He's mad. Pissed.
I would be too if people were messing up my shit.
All right, Alex. Now you messed up my lines. Now show me your feet. Anyway, moving on.
Whoa.
That's what
okay,
Quentin
anyways.
Tarantino would say.
Oh God. Okay.
Anyways.
we've done this many times on the Q&As, but we've had like 5 movies since our last one. Let's do a ranking.
Wait, what movie since the last time again?
Hold on.
I don't even know.
Let me just make a general.
Dog, I forget what we do half the time.
I'll just pull up.
Let me go to the filmography of the YTMCU because I don't remember what all we've done.
I'll just pull up them all. There's 14, and we'll just go, from worst to best.
Midnight
or whatever.
Sun's bad.
What? Oh wait, no, I gotta play the game that I played with Isaiah with you guys first.
Oh.
Okay.
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 So I'm gonna name a random movie
Okay.
from the YTMCU, and you have to describe it in one word.
Okay.
And you
I
can't
like
say
this.
and you can't say the same word.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go in order. Let's start with Moon Knight Chapter 1.
Ass. No. I'm changing my word. That's bad. Potential.
Okay.
That's my word.
Well,
Can we
it's hard-
use the same word as each other? Probably not.
No. He just said no.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said the same word as yourself. Whatever. That's fine.
Okay.
I thought you can't use the same word for another film.
Oh yeah, you can't do that
okay,
either.
Gotcha. Beginnings.
Beginnings. Winter Soldier.
Ass.
Terrible.
We can say that for this one.
Shit.
Isaiah literally just said bad.
That's good.
The first Dragon and Tiger movie.
Intrigue. Intriguing, I mean. Oh, no, wait, no, that's the one with Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
Mid. Only because of him.
Damn.
Immemorable.
He used that word to describe a different movie. Moon Knight Chapter 2. Your first appearance as Le Bouchement.
Can I use a word that's hyphen?
Sure.
Like hyphenate?
It's one
come up. Like the come up.
I'm on the come up.
That's the come up.
That was the come up.
Yeah, that was the first word I thought of it, too. Immediate.
It's a very Dakota word.
Yeah,
On the
that's
come up.
that, literally. Yeah, I thought of him when I said it. Shout out Dakota. Love you, homie.
Hope you're watching this, man.
Climax.
Climax.
That soon, huh? This is why you don't get second dates.
Oh!
Anyway.
Secret
You
Avengers.
get first dates. So you
That's what I would call memorable.
Secret Avengers?
Yes. Because I couldn't tell you anything that happens other than your brother being Mecha Thor.
Rushed.
You are not worthy!
Rushed.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one. I can agree with that.
Dragon and Tiger 2, Heroes for Hire.
That's the first one with Brady, right?
Also the first one with you.
It's bad. Kidding, I'm kidding. You know, I don't think about that one too much.
It's funny because it was your first appearance.
I know, I really don't think about that movie that much.
And that was where you had the most comic accurate look as well.
Yeah, because someone didn't want to keep putting gray in my hair.
My bad, I ran out of paint.
I
really did.
Large.
Large, a lot of characters.
Large movie.
That was 2 villains, 2 new side characters, and like 3 different plots.
Large.
But I'd say it worked. I'd say we fulfilled everything that was being built up till the end.
Yeah, I would call that the climax. That's what I would call it.
Okay.
Because that's when we really started to peak.
Peak fiction. Flip the coin. Big shots.
God, I wish you wouldn't use rushed because that movie was very rushed.
No, I already said that. Cringe. Cringe.
You guys have very different takes from other people.
Not
I've
to
had on here.
disrespect Bank. Just the whole movie.
I used the word unprepared.
That's a good word.
Oh, that was when I was going to... Oh, God.
You can have it.
Unprepared.
Yep, that's a good word for it.
Going from that to a better one, let's talk about Sin Eater. One word.
Poggers. It is.
I'm going to use more than one word out of nowhere.
That film definitely just kind of showed up and showed out and said, fucking, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it just... It
Literally
was just there.
came up, drank like 17 gallons of angry, just pissed all over the floor and then left.
Bro showed up, shot 5 people, and said, I'm gone.
This was the first time, just as like a little bit of a throwback, this is the first time that Alex hadn't like told me about a movie he was writing. And it just
Yeah.
The
kind of-
script was just done, and I said, here it is.
he was just like, hey, I have this movie, it's called Sin Eater. And I was like, what the fuck's a Sin Eater? And
That's
we
what I said.
We filmed the movie. And,
Yep.
it turned out to be probably, I'd say, our best movie.
No,
One of 'em.
I'm gonna change my word. Art house.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I always describe Sin Eater as, is the art house film we made.
That film is just so crazy.
Fun.
So crazy.
That was probably my favorite
That was the
filming.
most interesting watch party we ever had.
That was my favorite.
Because nobody knew what the hell was happening.
That was also
Yeah.
my favorite filming.
Except for you.
Ever.
Except for me.
Like, I loved Midnight Suns. But filming some days, I wanted to shoot very particular people.
Brady.
Well,
Everybody.
no.
Brady.
Grady. Gabe Brady.
Grady.
Brady.
I almost threw Gabe down a ravine.
I almost took...
Honest to God.
I almost took his glasses and shoved them down his throat.
All right.
I was...
All right,
Having
less
a
less
fun time.
aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Less aggressiveness.
It's
here.
it was
not a fun time. But anyway.
it turned out to be a great movie, but we definitely suffered to make it.
Anyway.
But
Back to Senior.
anyways.
Back to Senior.
Our house.
That was such an interesting watch party.
Out of nowhere. Again, I can't think of one word for it. It's just out of nowhere.
We'll talk about that more later. Winter Soldier 2. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mid. Did I say that already?
You may have. I think you said that about the first.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Darn it, that would have been perfect. Why? That's my word, why.
I think the word I used to describe this one was lazy.
For me, it's just why. Because after the first one, I never in a million years would have ever tried to make another one. That's just me.
But you could totally say the same thing about Moon Knight 1 and Dragon Tiger 1, because they were both also not
I
great.
know, but like, I don't know. You could feel that there was love in Moon Knight 1, even now. Whereas with Winter Soldier, I feel like half the actors did not show up.
Jonathan was the only person.
Jonathan was the only one who showed up, yes, for sure.
Is Winter Soldier 2 the one with Red Guardian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Red
That's
Guardian,
what I thought.
Punisher, and Zemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah.
It was lazy, and it was cold. I
Sorry, Cole.
almost died filming that movie because I almost got frostbite.
Yeah, sorry, Cole's another one whose acting matured majorly throughout
Yeah.
his career here.
But then he picked women over the boys.
Hey man, I got him coming back for a project that I won't tell you about until it happens, but you probably already know what it is, so it's okay.
Well, if he didn't tell
I
me
probably
about it, then must be big.
Anyways,
Moon Knight Chapter 3.
That's poggers.
Big leap in
That's
quality.
what I call poggers. Yeah, that was the one we put the most love into, for sure.
A lot of references.
And we
a lot
got
of
the most
callbacks.
love out of.
For sure. 6,000 views on it. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
For us, yeah.
lovely,
Lovely. Yeah.
lovely film.
That was also one I had a lot of fun in filming.
Daredevil Part 1. This is where Isaiah said unmemorable.
He's right.
It's really average.
That's where I'm going to say who. Because, like, man. And it sucks, because I loved being Kingpin. I
like being Daredevil too, but
But that one, I could say that one felt a little bit rushed too, but not in the same way. Like, I felt like we were just too many. There were too many times where we did one take. We were like,
I'm not gonna say why because I have another one I'm gonna say why for.
I know
but-
exactly what I would use to describe this movie, and it's a question of. I'm just gonna use the word that I give myself when I'm thinking about the script, and that's blank. I kept
Okay.
drawing blanks
Yeah.
because
yeah, that's a good word.
I had
Daredevil's
already
just been done so well.
multiple times.
Well,
multiple times.
after
It's just-
Netflix, man, the Netflix show will always top it. There's no way. Whereas at least we can say we had some more interesting ideas compared to MCU Moon Knight.
And that's why we always try and write for characters who they don't write for.
Because we tend to make them more accurate.
Yeah, because I mean Iron Fist, Moon
Also
Knight.
because they
Shang-Chi.
Say what you want about the MCU, the Moon Knight show is incredibly mid. I would actually call it pretty bad.
It's okay.
it's there.
For
But you don't feel the love for the source material.
So here's the thing: if you've never read a Moon Knight comic, you could be like, okay, that was really cool. But if you
That's-
have, then you'd be like, okay.
That's
well,
what I'm gonna say for Daredevil.
I mean, that, because, yeah, no, that's exactly the point.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say there.
It's, yeah, like
there.
there. It's there.
Yeah, I feel like that.
That's fair.
I think that movie was just very understated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now on to something disgusting: Quicksilver.
Why?
But this film is non-canon anymore, so
Still, why?
Nothing.
you can't say anything.
Nothing. That's my word, nothing.
I know you guys probably gonna be like, why? But I kind of want to redo it. I want to try it again
Well, yeah, you filmed in, like, what, 2 days?
one day.
That's my point.
Yeah,
you filmed it with you filmed it
With a
no
beginner
offense
crew.
with no offense to the Blairs, people who didn't really know what they were doing yet.
Yeah,
Yet.
the Blairs
Yeah.
and
word,
That's why I
yes.
said yes.
every other character in the movie besides me and Gabe had not been in the movie before or acted.
Yeah, that's exactly
seriously.
why I said yet.
Yeah, but now if we did it, I feel like it'd be better
And now we love the Blairs.
because I definitely think Isaiah as Gambit in Wolverine is significantly more interesting than he was in Quicksilver, and I've only seen 5 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Midnight Suns.
Or I'm gonna say poggers.
I don't know. I just look at that movie and I just say, Maybe it's just because it's me, and I always look at myself very harshly.
Then look at everyone else.
The cinematography in that movie was by far the best.
Yeah.
I would say fire then.
A lot of
For
fire.
both.
There's a lot of fire in that movie, actually.
For
There's a
both
lot
a
of fire.
pun and literally.
There's a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And then Dragon and Tiger 3, Living Weapons. Jack Mack, I don't think you've seen this movie.
I have not even watched it, so that's
We have, so.
So that's my problem. I'm gonna just say it. I love Brady to death, but I that's really gonna be I'm gonna probably have to be forced to sit down and watch this movie because there was so many issues from when we tried to film it the first time.
It's worth it.
It's a great movie.
To,
Yeah.
as
Because I mean,
talking
you and
to
I were
you-
there.
talking to
For
you
the whole
directly, everything that we went through, me almost just completely quitting and not even finishing.
Me almost
finishing the
also
movie,
wanting to quit too. Yeah.
It was worth it in the end. It's a
Okay.
really good movie.
Because you and I had a lot of struggles during that movie.
For me, the word for myself for that movie has got to be conclusion.
Fact. Fact.
I do not feel adequate enough to say a word since I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I will refrain.
We should watch it together eventually.
Okay.
'Cause it is.
Yeah.
it
For
is-
this moment, I will refrain.
After watching it, I was so proud of what Brady had done. And I really
Okay.
said, man,
I would
You-
go. Sorry.
you wouldn't even notice that we struggled because we just got through it and it came out so well.
I would go further into why I call it conclusion so happily,
That's what's about to happen.
but Alex has another question for that. So
Okay.
I won't
So-
go in just yet.
Now we're getting to that. We're going to pretty much start over from what we just did, but we're going to discuss each film in depth more than just saying one word.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of discuss what our thoughts are and how they affected what we have now and what we could have done better.
Yeah.
So, start with Moon Knight 1 again.
Yeah. This is my problem with these movies, too, is because I have not been there for nearly as long. I'm now technically a veteran, but I was not there from the beginning. I don't know the older movies nearly as well, but I have obviously seen this movie. There are a lot of... The Moon Knight movies, the first two tend to bleed together for me, which I feel really bad, because I think the second one is far superior, but... The first one, I always seem to forget what's happening in it. Because, like, every time you and I talk about it, you're like, no, Jack Mac, that's the second one, you idiot. I'm like, oh, this is the second one. You're like, no, Jack Mac, you numbnuts. That's the first one. And I never get them right.
There's never been a time where I said, no, that's the third one.
I have never... Yeah, that's the truth. I've never mixed up the third one with the rest. I only mix up the first two. And it's... Yeah, like...
I think
But it's very good.
there's a YouTuber that did a review of our first three movies. His name's Calder Prime.
Oh.
And he gave me a really good description of the first three movies. He used the word I think it was prologue,
Yeah, that's reasonable.
like as if the first three movies don't count.
I say they count. They just,
They could have been
It's
more.
world building.
which looking back,
It's
now,
the origin story.
Now that we've done so much and we've learned so much from those movies, there's a lot of things that we can look back on now and say, oh, we would do this differently, we would do this differently, we would do this differently. But then we also have to remember, Alex was in 7th grade. 7th grade when you filmed Midnight One?
Which is impressive, man.
As a, 12, 13-year-old?
Yep.
You don't
Yeah,
think
that's-
about the same stuff you do as a 19-year-old when you're making a movie.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
now I'm
that's
looking
very
at
true.
the newest movies I'm writing, and the themes are darker, the subject matter is deeper, the entire stories just are so much more powerful, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything.
Like, could we go back and, rewrite those scripts now and redo them?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And they'd be much better.
But
More nuanced.
I think those movies had to happen the way that they did for us to get to the point that we're at now.
They have a childlike charm.
They show that evolution.
Yeah.
They also have a really nice charm to them.
Now, me, I haven't watched the first Moon Knight fully. I haven't watched
Another
it
reason I want to
in a long
marathon
time.
these
You actually
movies.
never did.
Huh?
You never did. Watch it.
No.
Oh, that's
I've
crazy,
watched-
because
I've
I've seen
watched
all of
parts.
them once.
I've watched parts of it, but never in full. And I haven't watched it in forever, so I
that's
don't
crazy.
really remember.
I want to marathon these movies with everybody so bad.
Yeah.
Just like,
It would take a while, but
I really want to rent out a Cinemark and just watch them all.
That'd be funny.
yeah. I can't really say anything about Midnight One.
Yeah.
I definitely think that movie was interesting because Moon Knight wasn't really mature at the time, obviously because I wasn't, and I tried to embody that character and body or the brain for it at the time.
I still really hard to think about that sometimes. You were like 12.
It's really crazy to look back at it.
No, that honestly makes me appreciate it a little bit more.
If you look at that movie, you don't look 12 when you're portraying it. Like it's insane that you're 12 years old
Well,
portraying this character.
because I think about how I was when I was 12.
Yeah,
Not even
there's
close.
no way.
There's no way. When I was 12, I was literally the dumbest person
I
I
guess
knew.
I was just made to grow up faster than some,
You were built different. Anyway.
for lack of better terminology.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Winter Soldier. We already kind of laid down most of our thoughts on it, but it's not good.
I'm pressing the skip button.
No, hold on. I have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Should have put me in the movie.
It wouldn't have made it any better.
Slightly.
All I'm saying
Who would you have
is,
played?
I don't know. Somebody.
He would have just gotten shot.
Well, yeah. And
There was no story.
me getting shot would have been better acting than most of the acting that was in that movie.
Basically, all I'm saying is
It wouldn't have saved it. That's all I'm saying. It wouldn't have been enough.
That movie gave me a very weird impression of Cole Allen.
Which
Because that was my first introduction to the man. And that was kind of the reason when, I don't know if I've ever really mentioned this before, but when we started filming Winter Soldier 2, I was concerned. It's because I remember the first movie, and that was the only real experience I had with Cole.
it was bad.
And I was like, ooh, do you really want to give this back to him?
I think he did a lot better though.
But obviously, yeah.
He
I mean,
earned
he
it.
improved for sure.
He definitely earned
If
it.
we could do a third chapter, it'd be different.
Yeah.
It would be different.
Yeah, I agree.
And you'd have different characters.
Yeah. But no, that first one.
Hit crack right
Oh,
there.
I did.
Oh my
I
god.
heard that. That was nice.
Ooh.
So, Dragon Tiger 1. I know you were more in depth on this one, Dalton. So
Yeah.
let's lay it down.
I know my acting was not up to par for that. I would have definitely worked more with Caleb with the chemistry between Meacham and Danny Rand. A lot of the acting, like the cinematography and stuff, yeah, it could have been better,
Boring.
but yeah, that's whatever.
Average.
The acting is where it's really important for those earlier ones, because we were all most of us were new to it. So, yeah, I would have worked better on my acting and helping the others bring out their acting, their best acting capabilities.
I think that would have been. It also would have been nice if I could have wrote it a little more in depth, kind of fleshed out the story a little more. Let's talk Moon Knight 2. This is where you really got your character to shine out.
Moon Knight 2.
The one that Jack Mike always gets confused with the first
Well,
one.
no. It's more that the first one bleeds into the second. Because, like, who's the villain of the first movie?
There is no villain. It's a thug with a gun.
See, honestly, I didn't even remember Callus Monroe.
He has more character in that one Villain House episode than he did in that movie. And half the character was people forgetting who he was.
Or he turned, like, Jumbo Line or something for a house. No, I can't talk. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Moon Knight Chapter 2. Besides some like cinematography things, I can't say there's much of a change. It was kind of for what it needed to be. It was perfect.
Well, that was when I started paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I think that was when I first met you.
That's why I call it the climax, because it was where we started really getting our attention. We started.
You mean climax of the films? Climax
Yeah.
of the intro.
Oh no, not the no.
So that would make no sense.
So, that was what, like 2017?
God, no, it was
2016?
20. Oh no, no, it wasn't.
It's July 9th, 2019.
It was 2019.
Yeah, God no, 2017. That was Greece. Was 2017.
Oh. Greasy. No, I didn't realize. I'm wrong. I'm dumb. But no, that was when. But that is when I started paying attention to this stuff. Because that I remember. Because that's when you wanted Timothy to do stuff.
Wish you would have done it.
It would have been funny.
Would have loved to have seen him here.
It would have been funny. Timothy was a guy who did. He was the guy who played Danny in Grease with Dalton.
The main character. Yeah.
The main guy. But
Chicken hair.
chicken
hair. Oh god.
I never realized that.
His hair looked like a chicken's hair.
Epiphany.
Yup.
Epiphany.
It did.
That's so true.
Epiphone.
Off. But no, that was when I really started paying attention to Alex's movies. Because he told me he did them when I first met him. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, he didn't like me yet.
That's not true.
He
I
didn't,
thought
he
it was
didn't actually like me yet. He just pretended like he did.
No,
Because he wanted to make Jonathan
no,
happy.
no. Jonathan didn't like me, so I was like, oh great, the other Lumen won't like me either. But no,
I did, and I do.
I don't know, making fan films for me at the time, I was like, oh, that's weird. And then 2019 came around, I was like, well, he's doing good stuff. So, it got me on board. And I was at every one. Was I at that watch? I was probably at that watch party. I think that was probably my first one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I remember having watch parties.
Well, you don't remember anything.
I only remember,
Exactly.
like, the more modern
Who are you?
ones.
He's dead. Anyway, moving on. Knock him out of the chair. Just. Alright, cool.
I think the chapter 2 is a good expansion of the lore for Moon Knight as a
Yeah.
character. Get the
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my YouTube watch history just opened.
My YouTube poops have opened.
That basically. That's where we got characters like Scarecrow, Midnight Man, Black Spectre. And granted, none of these characters were even fleshed out
Bushman.
prior to their intro.
Bushman was amazing. Great character. Great time playing that character, as I said before.
The real meat of that will come later.
Licked
though.
his teeth too many times. Freaked me out.
Say, man, that's one thing
Character,
I've
man.
always heard when people that have not been in this movies or don't know you watch them. They always say Bushman's just really fucking creepy
Well, that was the point.
because you just make weird faces and lick teeth and knives
That's-
and shit.
listen. that's where I wanted the character to be.
Well, I definitely think it was good.
you. Excuse me. Congrats, you made yourself look like a creeper. Oh man. Anyway.
Secret Avengers. Let's talk about that one.
Who?
Who is
Damn, man, you're creaking on that motherfucker.
I was creaking.
Who is the main villain of Secret Avengers?
Crossbones.
Isn't that when he died?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Spoiler.
Okay.
Who hasn't seen it?
Um,
You don't get what I fucking deserve.
Yeah, we ripped off Joker so many times, just for that one.
God, I don't remember that movie very much.
I literally only remember that line. Couldn't tell you anything else. Which sucks.
I remember I
'cause
was
my
in the-
boy
I was in
J.
the
Lou.
movie.
Yeah, you were. Meacham had a decently large presence in the movie.
My
Remember,
boy J. Lou deserved it. Man, he was great.
My character bought stuff for the Secret Avengers. I remember that. I was the financial person.
Literally the entire time Meacham was just like, man, I don't want to help Crossbones, but he just pointed a gun at me. So I'm going to tell the Secret Avengers to go
Oh,
kill him.
that's
I
right.
remember-
The pool scene.
I
forgot
remember
about that.
Moon Knight just hitting someone with Mjolnir, and that's it.
Yeah, he fought Robot Thor.
Yeah.
That was a reference to when in the comics, Moon Knight lifted Mjolnir twice.
It was an interesting movie.
Not a lot to say about it from what I'm hearing.
Not really, because I haven't watched it in so long, and I've done so many other projects that are not saying that Secret Avengers was immemorable, but I've done other projects that were more memorable.
We're going to have a discussion about Secret Avengers later. It's going to be big. Dragon and Tiger 2 Heroes for Hire. This is where you started to make yourself known, and you really started to make yourself known.
Good movie. Really good movie.
I loved having a cape. No, I'm obviously kidding. No, I'm not kidding. But no.
No,
I
I'm
was-
not kidding.
I was not joking.
Best parts of those 2 movies was my Sidemen hoodie. Shout out to the Sidemen.
Jesus Christ.
You what?
Sidemen.
The red hoodie I always wear with the little thing logo on it.
And this guy says I'm cringe for having Prime bottles in my bedroom.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about, bro.
The red hoodie I always wear.
The red one with like the white,
The
the maroon.
And the one on the back.
Who are you?
Anyways, whatever. I don't know who this guy is. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I've never met this fella in my life.
Yeah,
This charming fellow.
the Sidemen have made an appearance through my hoodie in our YTMCU movies, so.
And through Prime.
And through Prime.
Man, we didn't go anywhere with that.
No.
More about that movie.
I'm just glad that Brady was Danny.
Was
That was basically it.
Was that Dakota Ramsey's first appearance as Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yep. That was the first appearance of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's definitely gotten better.
For sure. I think both of them did.
Oh yeah.
They became 2 of my favorite characters.
I can agree.
I think it was the first time we had tried our hand at more popular characters, and it actually worked.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we killed off all the actual popular ones.
Yeah, Captain America got shot through the back of the head by crossbones. Thor, we don't really know what happened to him. Let's talk flip the coin.
All I remember is I wore a sombrero. That's all I remember.
Probably one of my favorite fight scenes was in that movie. Between
The Punisher and Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight and Punisher.
That's in that movie?
Yes.
I just thought it was some random thing we did.
No.
I didn't even remember
That's
that.
one of my favorite fight scenes.
Like, I'm serious. My brain's going nuts. I didn't
And
remember
It's in my
that.
top 5
And
YTMCU
actually-
fights.
I filmed that scene, so
Yes, you did.
you're welcome.
You filmed most of the movie.
Slurp, slurp, motherfucker.
He did. He filmed most
Hello, this guy.
You filmed most of the movie because the cinematographer didn't show up.
Get a load of this clown.
Remember that?
You literally did. My guy, you were the camera. My guy, you were the camera. That's it.
All right.
You were the kid named Camera.
I'm sure I did.
You were the child named Camera.
Wow.
Kid named Metal
That's
Fingers.
crazy.
Kid named Mo Camera.
I remember the entire process of that movie was me and you scrambling to come up with the script after we were given 4 pages of dialogue.
Oh, thanks, Dakota.
Let's hope
What's
Batman doesn't go that.
When did we
No,
film? Was
they'll
that
give us-
summer of?
Yeah, it was the summer.
The movie premiered on August 1st, my birthday of 2020.
So we
And we-
filmed it that summer.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
The COVID summer.
That was the first movie made in COVID. Can you believe it? Crazy.
Man. COVID really was just weird for these movies, man.
Fact. I mean, we came up with Flip the Coin, and then Sin Eater came afterwards.
That was when we were supposed to do the Punch-Out movie, too, with what's-his-face.
Yeah.
with Josh Parker as the director.
Yeah.
That movie never happened.
Honestly, it's probably for the best. I would have probably been canceled anyway.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely been
I
canceled.
remember Zach Zahn was supposed to be in that, but I can't remember what he was supposed to do.
He wasn't Glass Joe, was he?
No, too big.
Oh, yeah, by like
Red was supposed to be him.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, let's talk about something we can actually talk more about than almost all of these because that movie was so deep. Let's talk about Sin Eater. But actually talk about it now.
Like I said before, it came out of nowhere. You were going through something at the time. I do know that, and that's where it kind of came out of. I think.
I don't even remember what happened, to be honest with you.
I don't remember either. I know you were going through something, but that came out of like the deepest, darkest trenches of your mind, I think, and you went kind of insane.
Yeah.
I was a little worried,
Method acting.
but
It's a problem. And I'm
Yeah.
just really good at it.
especially the nights where you'd be up at like 4 a.m. filming your the scenes where like his face falls apart and all that.
Oh, the bathroom scenes where he
bathroom
has a
scenes at 4 a.m.
schizophrenic hallucination of himself bleeding black blood out of his mouth.
If I would have been Alex's parents at the time and like woken up to see that, I would have been legitimately concerned and probably sent you to Chestnut Ridge.
That
Being
was
completely honest.
that was the first appearance of my Sinzuki.
Yeah, and I drove it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alex drove my car for those with that movie.
Yeah.
The Sinzuki is he dubbed it. Fun time. I
Perfect
about
name.
fell.
Perfect name.
I'm falling.
It's so squeaky, man. I told you.
Oh well. Sorry.
It's not picking up that bad.
It's only picking up a little bit. But anyway, fact of the matter is, that was just a wacky time. Like, I'll never forget. You were like, "All right, Jack, you're gonna be an a-hole drug addict that beats women. Go."
That's not what happened.
That's literally what happened.
No, I mean that's not like what happened. Like what came out of it.
Yeah,
It's something
right.
completely different.
I was like a complete a-hole drug addict, and I died for one scene. I cried for it, and Alex just goes, "Hey, yo, man, let's rewrite the entire movie from scratch for this one scene to work beautifully." And we turned the whole thing into a bromance between Stanley and Rosenthal.
It was
and
beautiful.
It was great.
I remember during the watch party when the scene had come where Stanley comes into Rosenthal's apartment. Dakota Glasscock, who's like the biggest movie guy, was like, he's not gonna kill him. This is a Marvel movie. And as he pulls the trigger, blood goes everywhere, and Dakota goes, "No fucking way."
Yeah.
He actually shot him.
That was
And you never see Rosenthal again. He's dead.
no.
Dead.
I loved the reaction because we've never gotten a reaction from a watch party like that.
Yeah,
That was the only time when that scene was happening. Everyone in the room was like, "No, this can't happen. No." People were actually starting to react when I like Rosal was like, "Please, Stanley, no." And it was like
Everyone was like,
genuine-
"Oh, they're just gonna hug and keep the secret." That did not happen.
No, that obviously did not happen. And man, that was hard to film. I'll never forget. Alex like hugged me after that. He was
I think I remember you said it once. When I had been in that character, because I had played that character so like deeply,
Yeah.
and you had played him so deeply.
yeah.
You had put yourself in the mindset that it was a real situation.
Yeah.
That like I was going to kill you.
Yeah, it made it. That's why I was able to cry like that.
He put himself in that genuine like state of fear.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show just how great of actors you two are. You know,
Thank you.
yeah.
that's just kind of.
It was a lot. I mean, anyone who was there when we filmed that? Do you remember?
I was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
God.
you saw that, and you were like,
I think that was just the three of us.
Yeah,
Because
it
half the
was.
movie was just me and you.
yeah. The majority of the film was me.
That's the crazy thing about that movie. There's like hardly any characters.
There's 4 people. In the
Most
whole
of the movie is just you and me,
Yeah.
and there's the one scene with like the couple villains and the
And to
Spider-Man
think the
Punisher.
movie could have been just mid.
And it ended up being something completely different.
All I had to do was fake cry, and that completely changed the fabric.
I said, hold on, let's cook.
Hold up, and I went, hold up,
Let me
I'll let him
cook.
cook. Hold up, I'll let him cook.
That movie was definitely something that I'm very.
My tears
proud of.
became Remy from Ratatouille and jumped up onto this man's head and just
And then,
piloted.
next thing you know, out comes a movie about a serial killer whose best friend is a judge, and then the whole story of that.
Yeah.
It was very dark. I remember because during the watch party, everything up to that point had been like, oh, superhero shit. But then when we were watching that one, you especially were like, this is something completely.
I
different.
will say though, the one negative about the movie is the background character acting was very mid.
Yeah.
But
I kind of
And
think
it's also really noticeable when we were the main characters.
yeah.
That was what the problem was. Any character that was even remotely not as good as you or me is obviously
You
going
can
to make... It's going to be noticeable.
See, there's something very strange that I had kind of thought about. I watched it one night by myself, and I was watching the scene. Do you remember during the intro when his grandfather gets bitten by the snake?
Yeah.
And all the villagers are just like so robotic.
yeah,
It kind of like low key creeped me out. I was like, these
Oh,
don't even.
yeah, true.
This is unintentional, but these don't even feel like real people.
It was kind of macabre.
which
In a
for,
way, like, it was
for
really
a couple
nice.
of the guys that were in that movie is their first time acting.
Yeah,
I know
Marcus and Sammy.
and Marcus.
Oh, Sammy.
I always forget that Sammy was in that movie.
That motherfucker. I forgot Lanky Man was in it.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
He played like the original Sin Eater.
the original sauce eater.
He
Yeah.
just showed up. He came to work out with you, I think.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being in the movie.
You were like, bro. And he went, bruh. Okay.
And then next thing you know, that scene was so feverish.
Yep.
Because, like, it just, I think it goes to show Stanley's, like, mental recollection of the moment because he's so shattered. Like, he hardly even remembers it. Like, he just remembers his uncle gets bitten by a snake, and then this fucking weird person stares into his soul, and then
True.
all the people of the town are just like, "Your grandfather was bitten by a snake, but don't worry, we'll take care of you." It's so feverish.
Wake up.
I think Midnight Mission's gonna replicate that. Dalton probably not gonna watch that.
No,
So
it's okay. I'm gonna tie him to the bed and make him watch it anyway.
all right. So Winter Soldier 2. What can we say about this movie?
I don't remember.
Who was the main villain?
Cole Allen.
Bad writing.
Who's the main character? Cole Allen. Who was the main heroine? Cole Allen.
Heroin. There's never been a heroine in the YTMCU.
Who is the writer? Cole Allen. Who is the director? Cole Allen.
No, seriously,
Who did the cinematography?
Seriously,
Cole
Who
Allen.
was the main villain?
Wayne Baker played Baron Zemo.
What?
Oh,
he
that's
was
right.
in that
Baron
movie.
Zemo.
I thought he was in the same movie as Red Guardian.
That is the same movie.
I'm done. I don't even. Because I thought he was in an earlier movie. Red Guardian.
I remember I was there for that movie. I played some.
I literally filmed half the movie.
I can't remember you playing anybody.
I literally filmed the majority of the movie and I don't remember any of it.
I remember I was.
Because we just
movie.
remember Gabe and Derek.
All I
yelling at each other
remember
most of the
is
time.
the shot that you really liked of me like by your leg with the baton while they were walking up on the driveway.
That's Moon Knight 3.
That's what I'm talking
That's a whole
about.
different movie.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man.
That's
I
a
don't
completely
remember Winter
different movie.
Soldier 2 at all.
Yeah,
I could have sworn that had to have been Winter Soldier.
I remember the scene in the bar. That's all I remember.
No, it wasn't.
What bar? What are you?
Because Punisher, Red Guardian, Winter
Hawkeye.
Soldier, and Hawkeye were all in the bar, and then they get in a fight with somebody, and something happens. I don't remember. We used the beer pong table for it. That's all I remember.
Did anyone just accidentally? Sorry to interrupt. Did anyone just accidentally watch me like take 5 pictures without even trying to? I was just tapping my phone and I felt the shutter button go off. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't remember Winter Soldier. I'd have to watch it again.
Is that the movie where like it was you and the other two characters, like you as Red Guardian, like talking in the driveway next to the truck?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, because I remember standing on top of your truck filming that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do remember something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Wait, who actually was the main villain?
Baron Zemo.
Okay.
All right, let's go away from that because clearly nobody gives a shit about it. Moon Knight 3, you and me beefing for 2 hours.
Yeah. The fight scene, the final fight scene between me, you, and Brady is
Awesome.
also one of my favorite fight scenes.
That was something different because then you had 2 villains beefing it out.
Probably my second favorite, after the one in Flip the Coin.
I don't know. My favorite fight scene is I'm perverted.
The fight for my will to live. Yeah, that's the fight.
Yeah, the truth's brain cells trying to live.
Them resurrecting me was the most fun thing to film because of the bloopers.
It's literally just Brady and Jonathan looking at each other and then laughing because they can't.
They can't say it.
can't.
We tried to film that scene for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't do it because Brady.
I wish it only took 45 minutes to film the movie.
They both look so dumb.
They were
They
just
just
like
kept looking at each other and being like,
I was it was. Thank God it was not cold. I was warm. I was laying in the grass and I almost fell asleep honestly.
Yeah.
Because I was just waiting for them to stop laughing. So, like,
I know how that feels. I did that when we were filming
I'm
Midnight Mission
so
the other
glad
night.
that you and I were able to tie up the conflict between our characters for good.
right.
Like,
We did it really good too.
yeah. And with Sun King being there, it was able to give a reason for you to come back and it not be, like, stupid.
Right.
And give him his own character as well.
I just loved watching the 2017 Moon Knight run on screen. That was fun.
Literally. Which
No.
it's funny because the 2017 Moon Knight run sucks.
Yeah, because it's not even like he goes on an island and Sun King goes like,
Yo, you want to fight?
"Yo, I'm gonna force you to fight me," and Moon Knight's like, "What?" And then like Jake and Mark like fight in their brain, and Steven's holding on to Conchu. He's like, "Why can't we just get along?" And I'm like, "Bro." What the
Yeah, our
fuck?
movie did a little bit different from that. So
Yeah.
I really like you as Bushman in that movie more than in the second one for sure.
I
really-
loved how your makeup was different every single recording.
Every scene, because Tina and I could not remember how we did it.
I also could not. I never forget the times we were in the church and I just went crawlered all over your face. It was fun.
Yeah. That movie was definitely a good time.
I sweat a lot during that movie.
Dude, I know.
because
It
I could
honestly
see your
made
like
it
makeup
look
like
better
it
though.
was, oh,
They made it look
God.
better.
Yeah, for sure. I liked most of the characters in that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like the big thing that I didn't like, which is entirely my fault, was shoving in Sentry, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange.
Oh, gee.
They
it is
did-
your fault.
They didn't need to be there, damn it. At least not the other two. Doctor Strange maybe.
Well, I think Doctor Strange was good.
Sentry definitely didn't need that.
Sentry
Well-
definitely did not need to be there.
Well,
But I read
you could've-
Vengeance of the
you
Moon
could've
Knight for
just-
5 seconds
you
and was
could've
like,
just
"Ooh,
kept-
Sentry."
you could have just kept me as Professor X and then it all would have been fine. But you had to try to appease Gabe and then make Gabe sad and then just be like, actually, Doctor Strange.
That was the dumbest part of the movie. I regret that.
You could have just let me be Professor X.
Everything else I like. Sun King was really fun.
Brady did incredible. That's Brady, like, when it comes to a psychological character like that, he goes all in.
I can't wait to see Joker.
And it was so creepy.
I'm the Joker, baby.
You probably remember that.
Oh, it was
I
fun.
was scared of, like, the character that Brady was becoming because he just...
Yeah, he started shitting on the floor too. It was kind of crazy. He was really getting into method acting. He like pissed on Dalton one time. It was just really strange.
Yeah, but Jared Leto and fucking Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto committing suicide.
Oh no.
That's not what it said. Okay.
That's what I wish you'd said. That's what I wished he had said.
I definitely think that the beef between Bushman and Sun King at the end was great. Cause like they both just wanted to kill Moon Knight, but then at the same time they both wanted to fucking kill each other. Because it was a big double cross.
Correct.
It ended up being Sun King, Bushman, and the Truth versus Moon Knight, and then the Truth got fucked up, and then Sun King was like, "Fuck you, Bushman," and Bushman was like, "Fuck you, Sun King," and Moon Knight was like, "Fuck both of you."
Wow, you just described Moon Knight.
I just described the entire movie.
Yeah, you did. No one
Um,
needs to watch it now. Crazy. I'm kidding.
Let's skip over Daredevil, unless you have anything to say about it, Jack Mac. Quicksilver, we have nothing to say about it. It was a mistake. Let's talk about Midnight Suns, though. This is where you become you.
So, Midnight Suns is probably the most polarizing experience I think I've ever had doing these. Because I had finally been given what I had always wanted. The lead role.
The Doctor Strange solo movie.
The Doctor Strange solo
But with
movie.
4 other characters.
But there were so many moments, and obviously I'm not talking about you guys because I love you to death, but there are times when side characters were ruining the movie for me. And that sounds really narcissistic, but hold on. There were a lot of times when we had the Debbie Downers coming, and they just made everything worse. And I tried to be like, hey, let's stay positive, let's stay upbeat. No, we gotta keep this moving. They're like, it made everything worse. And I just wanted to die. There were days of filming that sucked. Like, genuinely ass. Straight ass.
Day in the Woods was the worst. The worst day of filming I've ever had.
I was honestly ready to punch people.
Like I said earlier,
Which
there
one?
was
Yes. Other than the last one. The last one was good.
the one where we found the stick.
Oh, yeah. The one before that, we had fun.
The one we were there for like 5 hours.
I was ready to.
There was
blow up.
one person I almost threw into the ravine.
We all.
We
know
already
who
said who it
is.
was, so
Yeah.
lol.
But
He was very. He made
there were a
that
lot
day
of
very
things that were going on during that filming. A lot of tension that just made filming the movie horrible. Made me not want to be there, which really hindered my acting and my portrayal of my character.
I was gonna say you could see it in some aspects.
I did not want to be there.
Yeah.
And I did a horrible job of not showing that, because you can tell in the movie I did not want to be there at all. And so, one thing I would do differently with that movie would be to do better. act the character better, do what I wanted to do with the character, instead of just
Actually be a vampire.
instead of just kind of showing up.
Here's one thing I would do. Change that certain actor.
What I really wanted to do, which I threw away because I'm stupid as fuck, the story was going to go differently at the end, right? What was going to happen was Mephisto wasn't even going to be in the movie.
That would have been better already.
And Hellstorm was going to be there instead of Man-Thing.
That would have been cool.
So what was going to happen was they find the pitchfork, and instead of them going to hell and fighting Satan, you were going to be corrupted by the pitchfork. And now everything that we learned as a team, we were supposed to use against you to stop you and bring you back.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
That should have been what happened.
I want you to understand, I am very upset right now. I had never heard this draft of the script ever.
That was the original plot back when we had like Blade and Werewolf by Night and Elsa Bloodstone. Those characters, we were going to go find the pitchfork, you were going to grab it, and due to your ego, it was going to consume you with its power, and you were going to become an evil version of Doctor Strange, and all the characters were going to fight you. Jack Mac just like jumped on the floor. He's dead now. All right, Dalton, me and you now. Jack Mac is gone. So let's talk about Dragon Tiger 3, because that's like the last movie that we've done, and that's where you were really more involved.
If it would have stayed what it was originally,
It would suck.
I would have hated it so much. But the final product, I'm very pleased with. There are things I would change, like my filming of my scenes in the car would have been different. But for the most part, I'm very pleased with the final outcome of that movie.
I am too. Yeah.
Jack Mac hasn't watched it, so he can't say anything. So
Well, it's very good. Top 3 easily.
very good.
I'm over here.
I'm very pleased.
Top 3 easily.
Yeah.
Top 3 easily. What else do you have to say about it? Because I know you put a lot into it.
That's about it. I'm glad Brady's version got made instead of my version.
I think
I'll say that.
we both agree on that.
I've got to use the bathroom, so
All right. So it's just me right now.
Jack has to come back.
All right. Jack Mac is going to return, and him and I can talk some more. So.
Well, yeah, I obviously hopped out at the moment where I was no longer needed.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
jeez.
now let's talk about some upcoming projects.
Right.
Actually, so now I have different questions for you specifically, because I originally was going to do you two as separate episodes, but
Oh, okay.
now I might as well ask you personal
Right,
questions.
right.
So what are your thoughts on the Midnight Mission as being a spin-off from Midnight Suns?
I think this is a really good way to redeem the faults that we have with Midnight Suns as well. I think this will allow us to expand on the world that apparently you had a lot different of interpretation of originally. I think there was definitely some flaws we had within Midnight Suns for sure. And I think this will be a really good way to dive into the characters we didn't get to see nearly as much.
Mm-hmm.
Especially things, like Ghost Rider. I don't think we got enough time with him at all. We kind of just threw him in there. I would have loved to have gotten more background for him. Granted, I know this movie didn't need it, because that wasn't the movie's point. But it'll be nice to see characters get more of a spotlight.
And you will be getting to see new characters as well.
Yeah.
That were not in Midnight Suns.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about when I said I would kind of be out a little bit, because this will give other characters the time to shine instead of me, I can't always be the main character.
Yeah.
So,
This show is pretty much just Doctor Strange giving the other characters assignments
yeah,
while he focuses on the bigger things.
yeah.
There's 10 episodes in season 1 going to be planned. The first episode is already almost done.
Yep. We were filming that the other day.
You're going to see lots of different things. Jack Mac, here's the entire first season right there. If you want to give it a read and let me know what your thoughts are.
Okay. Don't read it out loud, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. Ooh. I like that one a lot.
Which one?
This one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging. I think you guys probably will too. Knowing what you guys think about our projects, I think you might be fascinated by what we're doing.
You'll
with
be
this.
seeing a lot more characters.
This first episode, though, is probably one of the wackiest things we've ever done. I think it harkens back to the weird parts of Sin Eater. So if you guys
This show
were into
is
that,
is definitely we're doing something different
yeah,
because most of our movies have been like, superheroes fighting, and then sometimes we go a little darker and more bloody, but never really into this kind of territory where it's more horror based.
yeah,
Like this show is supposed to go into the more paranormal side. Because in Midnight Suns we saw some zombies, some demons, but
not enough.
they weren't. The team was so powerful that they weren't really a threat, and they were seen more as like just enemies.
Obstacles.
But in this show, they are the main focus. The monsters are what really drives the show, and the tension that the characters are given by these scenarios. Because instead of just like, a lot of our movies have been like physical, like the characters just fight each other with like pure strength or whatever. But there are going to be some entities in this show that have ethereal powers that you can't fight with your fists. Like they don't even kill the enemy from the first episode.
Yeah,
They escape it.
which is I like that kind of stuff.
And a lot of the time, some of the monsters do become characters that join the team. Like, I'll just give a couple examples because why not? Werewolf by Night, he starts off as an enemy and he becomes a member of the team after he's beaten. Simon Garth, he starts off as a monster but then becomes a member of the team. Other characters, one of them Jack Mac holding right now, haha. He is a character that is going to be in a very interesting episode, I think. That one is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
That one's less horror, but more like fantasy.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, so you're going to see characters that we have yet to really get anything from. So I think that's going to be a really fun time to work on.
Yeah.
You're going to get to see characters that were originally going to be in the first Midnight Suns script, but got cut out and replaced with new people. You're going to see Werewolf, of course. Hopefully, you're going to see more characters of that type. So yeah, I think that's really fun to do.
Oh yeah.
And luckily, the episodes aren't as long and have less people in them, so we can kind of just film them whenever, and it's a lot less pressure.
Yup. That was what was really nice about filming the first episode.
It was just me, you, and Isaiah.
Yep.
Not doing much.
Yep.
So, what do we think about the newest upcoming projects besides that? Like Spider-Man, that's our next big project.
I'm really I haven't looked you haven't sent out the scripts, right, have you?
No, I have.
Okay. I haven't really I've dove a little bit into it. I'm fascinated to see what we'll do with it. Oh, here comes Dalton. He's back. I'm excited to see how Spider-Man evolves in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see Owen's character.
You can say his name.
Oh, okay. I'm really excited to see Eddie Brock. I'm a little bit biased because I am Venom. I will be Venom for this. So I am
the
a little
voice
bit-
of Venom.
I will be the voice of Venom. Owen will be the body.
Which makes sense, because look at the guy.
Yeah, look at Owen. But I'm very excited to see what we do with that. Venom, where Moon Knight is Alex's baby, Venom is mine. So this will be the movie that I'm really excited to make. So I'm really excited to go along with that. I love Dakota. He's great. Owen's a very funny guy. He'll be fun to work with.
And he's very physical.
He's
So
very
he'll
physical,
make
yeah.
fights actually fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely curious to see how well the actors do with that one, for sure.
You'll be seeing some characters from before returning.
Yeah.
Like Sin Eater is the villain of this movie. And instead of getting to see it from his perspective now, you get to see it from how everyone else sees him.
Yeah.
Because like in his movie, everything was fucking falling apart and crazy. But now you get to see how his victims saw what he did.
I'm assuming we're talking about
Spider-Man.
movie.
Spider-Man
Okay.
Sins Rising.
I'm very excited to see Dakota Ramsey carry his own movie.
Yep.
Finally time.
It's
Took him long enough.
going to be interesting. I have full faith in him. Whether he has full faith in himself, I don't know.
That
but
remains to be seen.
that's why I'm still here as an advisor, because I know you and I, Jack Mac, we are both, not to toot our own horn, but we are both very good at helping them realize that confidence.
Oh, for sure.
So because we've done it with Dakota, we did it with the Blairs,
Yep.
Brady. So
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of work into them.
yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna get to see a lot of Spider-Man lore. The obvious stuff like Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Spider-Man's powers. But then you're good Spider-Man Spowers, and you're gonna get to see other things like certain characters from the Spider-Man lore that are gonna be shown. Of course, Venom we talked about. Sin Eater is now gonna be the villain. You're gonna get to see other popular Spider-Man villains show up and do a little bit of stuff. So that's gonna be fun. We're gonna start filming that one this weekend actually, so be excited for that. We've started on a different project. We've started filming that just in moments of time. Wolverine. What do y'all think? What do you all think about that?
Curious. I'm just curious.
Also curious. I need to bring it up because I know it's a sour topic. It's unfortunate that the original person who's supposed to play Wolverine is no longer with us.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Levi. I love you.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because he would have been amazing.
Oh, for sure.
But
He definitely had a love for that character that would have absolutely shown through.
my mind's drawing a blank right now. Who's playing Wolverine?
Wyatt.
Wyatt is. I'm curious as to see how he does because I've never seen him do anything except for
He was a zombie
He was a
in
zombie.
Midnight Suns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I blast him with a laser beam.
But it's gonna be
And he
interesting.
shoots him.
I can see Wyatt drawing a lot of parallels to Hugh Jackman's portrayal, which is good. That's a very good portrayal.
Yeah. Very faithful one.
Yeah, I can see him pulling a lot of that.
I think he's really well built for it because he's short.
Yeah.
He has the hair, the facial structure, that kind of 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
And he has the country accent, of course. And I was there for the first day of shooting, and he impressed me.
He's rough,
He's gruff, yeah.
which is what you need for a character like Wolverine. You need somebody
He
who,
will say bub with a lot of confidence.
someone who
Yes, he will.
someone who's been through some shit
Yeah.
is the kind of person that you want.
Or
to
likes
play that
waiting in it.
Yeah.
character. We both just go, yeah.
Yeah, that movie's gonna be very fun. So this one's a little different. Batman. What do you think about that, Mac?
I am very excited about this. I'm actually, since we do Marvel movies, we don't really talk about this. I'm very much a closeted DC fan.
Closeted DC fan.
In terms of what we talk about in this, I've been a DC fan my entire life. I grew up with them, and Batman's one of my favorites. And I'm really excited to be Jim Gordon. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to see Brady be the Joker. He's gonna be
Terrifying.
yeah.
Anything we learn from Sun King, that dude is about to be.
I
a menace to
can't wait for
society.
Jonathan to look at me and go, Jesus Christ! That's gonna
Harvey
be the,
Bullock, baby.
That's gonna be the best line in the movie. But this is gonna be a really fun story to weave because I love a good Batman storyline. Batman Long Halloween is actually one of my favorite comic books of all time. I love the entire Long Halloweens.
I can't wait for my only scene to be somebody telling somebody to fuck off. I forget who I'm telling to fuck off, but
Reporter, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, from what I've heard of this movie, it's shaping up to be something really cool.
yeah,
Owen's gonna be Batman,
yeah,
which he's gonna love.
yeah.
You already know who I'm playing. The man, the myth, the Deathstroke. I'm gonna get to jump on cars with fucking katanas and try to kill Owen the entire movie.
It's a very well cast movie.
Oh, for sure. I mean, every character is picked to perfection.
Yeah.
Jack Mack's going to be an awesome Jim Gordon.
Yeah,
Jonathan's
baby.
going to be a great Harvey. Mia's Deathstroke. I think that's going to be really fun to play that physical character with all those weapons.
I've always wanted to play a cop.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a detective.
Owen's
That'll
going to be
fun.
an awesome Batman. I think he's got the physicality and the mindset. Brady's Joker is going to be wild. I'm just excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I'm to probably the chagrin to a lot of our viewers. I'm actually probably the most excited about Batman.
Oh,
That's
definitely
probably
am.
the property
I mean,
I'm the most excited.
It's not in
about.
here, but that fucking Deathstroke suit is already done, and we're
Yeah.
probably not going to film this movie for another like 3 months. So.
I love DC. Like, I grew up reading Superman comics. I grew up with Batman the Brave and the Bold. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I'm very excited to see what we do with it.
I'm more of a Marvel fan, but damn, I do love me some DC.
I have always.
I'm a comic fan. Okay.
Yeah. I've always loved the idea of DC. Someone explained this to me really well the other day, and it was Marvel is humans pretending to be gods, and DC is gods pretending to be human. And I like that dynamic a lot. I like the idea of gods trying to be human, because when you think about it, like their secret identity isn't their heroes; it's their human identities. Superman is Kal-El first, Clark Kent second. You know, Wonder Woman is Diana of Themyscira first, and what does she call herself? I don't
Wonder
know.
Woman?
Yeah, I mean Wonder. I mean it's whatever. I mean it's just like those things.
I don't know her human name.
I don't know. Does she probably just goes by Diana, to be honest. I probably got it
I
backwards,
don't
but
know.
whatever.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm half asleep. But anyway, basically the point of it is like these characters are larger than life and they try to be human. And I just love that a lot. Like it's just really fun. And I mean there are some characters that are men turned to gods, like Hal Jordan, you know.
Yeah.
Booster Gold is just a guy.
The Flash.
The Flash. I mean there are characters like more in line with Marvel.
And
I think.
same way in reverse. There are Marvel characters that are.
Well,
gods
like
trying
the
to be human.
Sentry,
Oh,
a god trying to be man.
Thor.
Thor. I'm trying to think of other characters. Like, there's so many. Like, there definitely are reverses of each other, but
Of course.
I love the way DC portrays that.
Great. Now I've got a question for this. What do you think about the dynamic between Marvel and DC?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, just as a comparison, what do you notice about them that's different? What do you like about both?
I think that DC inherently tries more grim storylines, like slightly. It depends on the run.
It's definitely
right?
darker.
It depends on who's writing it, because then you get something like from Marvel, like House of M, you know, which is completely
Old Man Logan.
devastating. You get Old Man Logan, you know. You get what's the really
Any Moon
depressing?
Knight run ever?
What's the really depressing Spider-Man run?
Oh fuck! There's plenty.
There's a few.
Craven's Last Hunt was
Craven's Last
that was
Hunt.
dark.
You get stuff like those, and then.
But they're not as mainstream as DC's dark.
No, because when you think of Batman, when people tell you about Batman comics, the first thing they normally say is something like The Long Halloween, Batman Hush. You know, these newer ones are these timeless ones.
I'm
You
not
know,
a comic guy, so I don't know any of them.
especially because like, I mean, The Long Halloween encapsulates Batman. When you think of a good Batman comic, that's the first one you think of.
Yeah.
Blackest Night, you think of that comic a lot for the Green Lanterns. You know, there's a lot of these stories that are just a lot darker and sometimes more grandiose, because I feel like Marvel, you don't get as many grandiose plot lines as often. You get a Civil War, you know, you get an Infinity Gauntlet.
I disagree. I think there's an equal amount on both sides.
I mean, fair enough. I don't know.
I
haven't kept up with Marvel as much recently, for obvious reasons. I think comics are going in a weird direction at this point, but bad.
I see. I mean, for every like big DC event there is, I can name a Marvel one.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
yeah.
you have your Infinite Crisis, and then you have your Infinity Gauntlet.
That's true.
You have your Blackest Night, then you have your House of M.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I don't. When I made that comment, I mean more of newer ones.
Oh yeah, well.
Because most of the ones I know of are like older things. But that's just
I mean, what is DC doing right now? They're doing like something crisis for like the 50th time.
That's a crisis.
And Marvel just did the Avengers, Eternals, X-Men, Axe.
Yeah, they're doing that, and now they're doing. Oh gosh. I thought it was big. It was a Sinister thing.
Oh yeah, and
Mr.
the X-Men.
Sinister.
The X-Men are fun.
Yeah, the X-Men are always doing something fun. They're
They
always
really are.
they're the bread and butter of Marvel. Jonathan will love that I say that. I think the X-Men are probably more of the fun part.
I think the X-Men are a lot of the interesting characters in Marvel. Like
They're
me, it's
more-
like.
Sorry.
No, you good.
The X-Men are more mainstream when it comes to comics than any of the other characters. Like, the ones that you see predominantly in the MCU, if you look at the comics, like, they're not mainstream at all.
No one knew what the Eternals was when they moved.
No.
Nobody knew.
Iron Man-
I've read like one Eternals line. I like the Eternals.
If you ask somebody in, like, 2007 who, like,
The Guardians were.
are the A-rated...
Oh, God, the
are, like,
Guardians.
the A-rated comic book people or characters...
Would have
like
been
Marvel,
the X-Men, Spider-Man, and like.
Iron Man wouldn't have been one of them.
No.
Guardians.
Nowadays-
No one knew who Guardians were.
Nowadays, Iron Man is top of the list.
Captain America,
because
Thor.
of the MCU.
Captain America, it was always like, yeah, Spider-Man, Cap,
Yeah.
X-Men. Those were like the ones back when we were young.
I think a lot of people.
Fantastic
I think a
Four.
lot of
Yeah.
perception of these characters comes from the live action movies.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, look what happened.
That's what I try to say. DC, in my opinion, is more the comics, and a lot, like everyone knows Batman, everybody knows Superman, everyone's heard of the Justice League 30 years ago.
The comics and their video games are better than Marvel games.
I mean, yeah, you get a Batman Arkham, and what do you get from you get Marvel Spider-Man?
which is fucking awesome.
You get like
Which is
just
good.
that. But that's what I'm saying. You can get like 4 Arkham games, and you get like 1 Spider-Man.
Yeah, I will say for every DC game that they have, Marvel has less. Because like
sure.
for Marvel, you have like Spider-Man, the Ultimate Alliance games,
Right. Those were,
Lego Marvel, but the Lego DC games are better.
yeah.
And you have the fucking Arkham games, which unless Spider-Man 2 is the greatest fucking game ever made, then
Oh my God, yeah.
Arkham City is my favorite like comic book video game.
you know
It's fire.
one I think is really underrated is the really old X-Men Origins Wolverine game. That game is fucking
Yes.
insane.
It's really
Thank
good.
God, someone's finally mentioned it.
Again, Wolverine still an awesome character,
The movie was so bad, the game had to save it.
and the game was awesome.
Yeah.
I had it on the Wii.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What the?
Coda.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
dog.
What a dog.
What the dog doing?
So I think we're almost to a close here because this is 2 hours already. So
Yeah.
let me think of my final questions here. I guess now that Dalton, will go with you first, since you're like retired. What's your kind of perspective looking back on everything now? Like, what do you think? Just-
I'm proud of everything that we've done. I'm proud of where we are. I hope that it can continue to mature and become better, because you can always be better, no matter what. And that's not just with this. That's in general. You can always be better. I'm very proud of it all. Were there times where I wanted to pull my hair out? Yes. Were there times where I wanted to shoot everyone? Yes. But I didn't. Thank God, or else I'd be in orange right now instead of red. And
Whole lot of orange.
so
Playboy Farty.
it's oh my God. Yeah, I'm proud. Jack Mac?
Yeah, now that you're kind of you're the position you are, what are your thoughts?
Looking back, I do see, and there's something in psychology known as hindsight bias. You know, you look back in time and you think, oh well, I knew that should have gone that way, or oh, I should have done it that. No, you didn't know you shouldn't have done it that way. You're looking back with hindsight, and there's a lot of things when we look back, we go, we should have done it that way, or why didn't we do this first, or why was this the actor? But at the same time, we wouldn't have been where we were without all these
Everything
mistakes.
happens for a reason.
Yeah, we would not be where we were at without these mistakes. And I own up all the mistakes we've made. And I'm proud despite them.
We learn from them.
And we've learned from them, yes. And I believe that our future is just as bright as the past was. I genuinely believe that.
100%. Well, would you guys like to go ahead and say your closing remarks and tell everybody good night or whatever?
Shalom.
I hate all of you, and I'm glad I'm not in it. No, like I said, I genuinely enjoyed my time. I hope that not just Alex, but everyone that's in the YTMCU continues to come to me for advice. That makes me feel pretty important, and makes me feel good that I can be this sort of veteran to these people who are new to it. And it really makes me feel like the hours that you and I, Jack and I, put in high school learning this trade
Yeah.
wasn't for naught.
Oh, for sure.
And so, yeah, that's that. I hope everyone still enjoys these. I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast. And thank you.
Jack Mac?
I'm getting a little bit louder for a second. I appreciate the people who have taken the time to sit back and, I don't know, maybe you had a snack, had a drink or something watching this. I don't know what you guys do at home, but I thank you guys for watching, and just remember, Doctor Strange knows what you're doing, and you better not be doing anything weird. Doctor Strange will get you. He'll get your ass. But that's about it.
And that's for me, everybody. I hope that you enjoy what comes next. We got a lot of big stuff planned. You'll, of course, be seeing more from me, more of Mac, hopefully.
Yes.
Probably not any more of Dalton, unless it's something outside of films.
He's getting out right now.
But I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'm very excited to start working on our next big film. And hopefully Midnight Mission Episode 1 will drop soon. I hope you all are having a wonderful night. And I will catch you on the next episode of the YTMCU podcast.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.